FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you are listening and perhaps even watching the Financial Survival Network, and I'm Kerry Lutz. And well, we don't always get celebrities on the show, although the fact is many of the people we've gotten here have gone on to become celebrities, unlike yours truly. But this person is really a legend to me. He's really what it's about when it comes to speaking your mind and let the consequences be damned. I'm talking about Terrance K. Williams, book coming out, From the Foster House to the White House. And Terrance, can't thank you enough for coming on the show. It's truly an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. So I was just watching a video that you made about former President Barack Hussein Obama, and you didn't have a lot of flattering things to say about him. Now, hey, look, I happen to agree with it, but don't you think many minorities, blacks, think that you're kind of a traitor, that you're not giving him the worship and the adulation that the mainstream media gives and everyone else? I mean,
Well, first, before I jump into Barack Obama, I have to say I am not a celebrity. Cut it out. I am just an American. I am just your brother from another mother, not a celebrity. But Barack Obama is a complete joke. He was a complete disaster his entire 8 years. Yes, people call me a traitor, but I'm not a traitor. I don't have to support Barack Obama because he's black. You know, black people chose him because of the color of his skin. And the man didn't do anything. They can't name one great thing he did. They keep bringing up Obamacare, which is a disaster. Obamacare is a disaster. It's supposed to help people, but if you don't get it, they make you pay money if you can't afford it. It's just a disaster. So I do call the man out because he's always running his big mouth. If people say, well, Terrence, why are you always talking about Obama? Well, why is Obama always running his mouth? Why do he always have something to say about President Trump? If Obama knew how to fix all of these things, he would have done that in his 8 years. But no, he wanted to play golf. Well, here we go. People are going to say Trump played golf too. Well, guess what? Trump worked, so he deserved to play golf. Obama didn't do nothing, so he shouldn't have been playing golf. He shouldn't have been coloring. He shouldn't have been painting. He shouldn't have been sipping on wine. He should have been working for the American people. He don't do anything. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating because Trump is up 20 hours a day. And maybe he spends 3 or 4 hours a day watching TV, or maybe on occasion he plays a round of golf. But I wrote this article, The Workaholic in Chief. This guy never stops working. And the media has had a meltdown because they don't even know what he's doing. All they can do is figure out 1 or 2 stories to bash him on a day, but he's 12 stories ahead of them before they even wake up in the morning. And, you know, look, Terrence, reporters have a very bad reputation as being a somewhat alcoholic, vacuous, non-thinking profession where they really just don't even report anymore. They get stories from their masters that are wrapped up in a bow, and then they just regurgitate them on the screen. But to say that Trump is lazy, I mean, the guy didn't get all these buildings and have his real estate empire because he was a lazy good for nothing. Like you say, what did Obama ever do before he got into the White House? And what has he done after? Forget about what he did when he was there. Pretty much there's not a lot to point to.
Yeah, this is the thing here. Now, Obama, he still had a chance to do something great. He could have been working with the president right now. He could have been with this pandemic but what Obama is doing, Obama is using the race card. He is using the race card. He is making this president out to be a racist, knowing good and well President Trump is not a racist. If Obama once said the American dream is to be like Trump. So how's he all of a sudden a racist now, Barack Obama? But as a former president, shame on you for addressing the nation. And who are you to be addressing the nation anyway? You're not the president anymore, but he calls himself addressing the nation, from via Twitter, via Facebook, and calling President Trump a racist, saying President Trump is not doing a good job with the pandemic. Well, Obama, if you know how to fix this pandemic, why don't you call the White House and give President Trump some advice if you know so much? If you care about people so much, Barack, why don't you go to the White House, pay President Trump a visit, and work with him and tell him what you think he should do? Why don't you give him some tips since you know so much? But you don't know nothing but that race card, and that's all you are doing is trying to divide the American people and push an agenda.
Hey, I couldn't agree with you more. And hey, I've been in Trump's office before. He's got pictures of him with Al Sharpton, or he had anyway, with Jesse Jackson, with Mike Tyson, with Don King, a host of African-American celebrities, and has been said nobody ever said Trump was a racist until he ran for president. And one other thing, what is more racist, trying to improve education in Black communities or supporting the schools that have failed Blacks for literally 60 years? What's more racist? You try to change it, or if you just go along with the system, the unions, all the kickbacks, the fraud, the corruption that takes place? Isn't that the ultimate form of racism, public education as it's practiced in urban areas in American cities today?
You know what's racist? This is racist. The Democrats that are trying to stop President Trump from helping Black people. Now that's what you call racist. President Trump is doing everything. Him and his administration is doing everything they can do to improve the lives of all Americans, Black Americans, Hispanics, all the minorities. And the Democrats are trying to stop him. And he is successfully, before the pandemic, President Trump was successfully improving the lives of Black people, and the Democrats tried to stop that. Now that's racism, that they are trying to stop President Trump from helping Black people. That's what you call racism. They saw that before the pandemic that Black unemployment was at a record low. That means all-time low. That means lower than Obama's numbers, George Bush, Reagan, Thomas Jefferson, everybody. It's record low. President Trump did that. That was for the Black community, and the Democrats tried to stop that. They didn't want to see that. Black poverty was at an all-time low before the pandemic because of President Trump, and the Democrats hated that. You know why they hated that? Because they are straight up racist, or they are, it's either two things. They racist, or they just don't care about people and they don't want to see people doing great.
Yeah, and it really, as Americans, we want everybody to be successful. So the Democratic Party, the Blexit movement, Candace Owens, how effective do you think that is?
Well, it's something. It's something. It's better than nothing, and it's doing good so far. I don't know too much about the Blexit movement, but I love that. I don't know too much about it. Because ever since the pandemic has been going on, I haven't been hearing much about it because they did events and stuff. So I don't know much about Candace Owens' Blexit event. I've been to one, and I know that she is waking up Black people all around the world, letting them know you don't have to vote Democrat because you are Black. That you can think for yourself. That is as much as I know, and that's very important. I mean, that's the best thing ever. But I think Americans all have to just come together and wake up and smell the coffee. Okay, wake up, smell the coffee, have a donut. Listen, Think for yourself. These people are not doing anything for you. You need to wake up and smell the coffee. And if you wake up and smell the coffee, you know, uh, early bird catch the worm. You'll get 2 free donuts. You know, get up. You know, I mean, people got to wake up, man. People got to get out of bed and wake up and realize that the people that they are in bed with, these Democrats, are not. They don't care. They're not doing anything for you. You know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, going back, then I want to talk about your past, but just Trump had a big fallout with Elijah Cummings. He was saying, you know, he's bemoaning the treatment of illegal aliens flooding into the country and how could we want to detain them and put them in cages and all this. And then Trump laid the truth bomb on him and said, hey, Elijah, what about your district here? It's going to hell in a handbasket, rat infested, slums, falling around. Nobody wants to be there. And it was like, all of a sudden, people are defending a slum in Baltimore, with the whole city's becoming a slum. And this was somehow racist, saying.
Well, you know, well, President Trump was telling the absolute truth. You know, worry about your district. And rest in peace to Elijah Cummings and John Lewis. Both guys are gone, I believe, right? I think they both dead. Yeah,
they're both gone.
Yeah, they're both dead. So, you know, I really don't even talk about the dead. You know, I don't get into the dead people. I don't talk about dead people. They're dead. They're not here to defend themselves. So I'm not gonna jump into, you know, John Lewis and Elijah Cummings. They both look alike, of course. A lot of people, you know, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought John Lewis was Elijah Cummings. I thought Elijah Cummings was John Lewis. I didn't know who was who. I said, well, I thought he died already. But I'm not even going to jump into that, though, because we're not even going to go there. But President Trump was absolutely right. You know, these people that are like John Lewis and Elijah Cummings, you know, they need to worry about their district. They're so worried about everything else. Worry about what's going on in your district. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around somebody else's front door. You know, I learned that from the elderly. Sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine. You know, clean up at home first, you know, and that's what people need to do. Clean up at home first. Clean up your city. Clean up your state, and stop worrying about what's going on in the White House. And your house is not even in order.
And the billions of dollars that went into Cummings' district, because he's very powerful,
very,
and stolen and wasted and squandered instead of helping the people that it was intended to help. So you were basically put in the care of the system of the government growing up, and somehow you managed to break free from all this and become your own thinker, critical thinker, independent thinker, and really somebody to be looked up to. How did you do it, and how do you get others to do it?
Well, so, you know, I have a book out called From the Foster House to the White House. The book is on Amazon, but the book is all about the American dream. You know, it's about a little boy, me, that had a mother. My mother had over 9 children by 6 different guys. She was addicted to crack cocaine. And she wasn't able to take care of us, of course, because of her addiction and her sickness. But how I got through that is because the American dream is real in this country, no matter who you are. And I did not let my deprived upbringing define me. I did not let that destroy me. You know, I learned from it, and there comes a time in your life, regardless of what you've been through and went through, once you are an adult, you have to start taking responsibility at some point in your life. No matter what you've been through, you can't keep making excuses. You can't keep blaming people. I can't spend my whole life blaming my mama. I'm a grown man, you know, so, you know, now I have to start taking responsibility. And my faith in God got me through all the pain. You know, God got me through all the pain and suffering. I give him a lot of credit. But the American dream is real for everybody.
Same here. And that's a really touching story that you shared with us. And when we look at the Black community, the biggest problem is is out of wedlock births. Don't you agree that these kids don't grow up with a father? You're the exception. You got through it because you were strong and you had this really strong faith in God. But for others not as strong as you, grew up in similar circumstances to you, it's really hard to break out of that.
Yeah, it really is. There's a problem in the Black community. And that's why I tell people, that's why I tell Black people, y'all need to focus on fixing the Black community. Focus on that. You focusing, and I'm not talking about police brutality. I'm talking about fathers not being at home. I'm talking about y'all want to run the police out of the neighborhood, run out those drug dealers, who are giving these people drugs, ruining homes, ruining children's lives. Why don't you run out the gangbangers who are shooting up children and mothers, innocent people? Run those people from out of the neighborhood. You want to run out the police. You want to riot and throw bricks and loot and steal and kill the police. But you need to be focused on running out the evil in the Black community. And I'm talking about the killers and the drug dealers and the gorillas. Get them out of there. Yeah. Focus on that. Y'all focus on the wrong thing, because that's not the main problem in the Black community. That's not the biggest problem at all. That's not even near the biggest problem. It's not even third place when it comes to the biggest problem. Not even fourth place. We're talking about, I don't even think there's a such thing as coming in the 100th place. But, it's far down the line of one of the biggest problems.
Hey, and you obviously had role models, you had heroes, Black and white. Who are your three biggest heroes?
God.
Right.
Was my role model. God was my hero, is my role model. That's all I had. I didn't look up to anybody.
You needed.
I didn't look up to anybody. I was in and out of foster homes. I was with somebody one day, next day I'm back in the shelter. I mean, to be honest with you, I really didn't have anybody to look up to, being in the shelter, being in the children's shelter, being a homeless child. I didn't have anybody to look up to, and so all I had was the man up above. And that's all we have at the end of the day.
We come in with the man above and we go out with him.
Exactly.
Faith in God. And yet the Democratic Party is the party of anti-God. They belittle you for believing in a power greater than yourself. They belittle you for devoting your life to serving God. And they belittle you for not believing effectively that man is God.
Exactly.
Very poisonous mixture there, isn't it?
No, it's very poisonous. It's very devilish and it's evil. That they even took out God. It pains them to bring up God. It pains them to even mention him. And that's very sick. And I don't want anybody running this country who can't even say those three letters, G-O-D. Like, you can't even say God's name. You can't even speak of him. What's wrong with you people? Are you the Antichrist? What's going on? You the omen?
Shocking.
You got to be the omen. You got to be the devil's child. Seriously, they are the devil's child. These people are possessed and corrupt. And it's sickening to watch. It's sickening. It's embarrassing all over the world. It's embarrassing. They're embarrassing us all over the world. People are watching and they are laughing at us.
Yeah, it is very disheartening. But you are a breath of fresh air. Terrance, you got a website. I know you got a YouTube channel. Will you please share that with us? And I urge everybody to go check out Terrance's work, because it really will benefit from it.
Well, everybody can find me at Terrance K. Williams on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and YouTube, or go to terrancekWilliams.com.
All right, Terrance, it's just wonderful having you on the show. We wish you the best of luck. Any questions or comments for Terrance, we'll forward them to him, kl@kerrylutz.com. That's the email address, and financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Sign up for a free newsletter. Terrance, I hope this is the beginning of a long association between you and I, because you are an inspiration to me. I mean, I didn't grow up with the challenges that you did. And when I think of my problems, I think like they were nothing compared to what you had. And you've done so much and touched so many people. Celebrity or not, you are a YouTube sensation. Millions of people have watched you tell your story and share your views. And for that, you have my eternal thanks and gratitude to let people know that there is a different way, and that way, whether you call it God or whatever you want to call it, really begins in your heart. And where you go, you decide.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that.
All right. Good luck. And hey, I'm going to get your book. And when it comes out, September 9th, I believe, I will have you back on after. Okay.
I really appreciate that, brother. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.